somehow somber. On first sight, the images were almost photographic. These faces had the same faded quality as pictures of missing children, as if they, too, anticipated what I knew awaited them. Step closer, and the clear lines scattered into a flurry of brushstrokes, smeary blotches, and swipes of ash and charcoal. The pictures both dominated and eluded. The paint was thick, encrusted on the canvas, and struck here and there with bristles. I stepped back again and recognized some of the faces inspecting me. A celebrated author behind heavy glasses, a glowering actress, communist heroes. Others were unfamiliar. Famous, infamous, or unknown, all were painted in precisely the same way, at the same immense scale. There was tragedy here, and villainy too, but the painter drew no distinctions. Even if they are bad people, they are still people, he said. He was an unassuming man, bundled in a fat black vinyl jacket and marmalade-colored sweater, an outfit a student half his age might have worn, but which he carried off easily. He drew on cotton gloves to hunt through the stacks for the canvas I'd requested, then pulled out a frame and bore it to an easel before untaping the cover. A face emerged, unyielding, though with a trace of a smile. Benign? Triumphant? Chairman Mao gazed out, and I gazed upon him. I was used to him in grand dimensions, from the giant portrait that still hung on Tiananmen, the great red gate in the capital's heart. It was startling that the others matched him as I looked around. There were over 100 pictures in all, but one was missing, Xu Weixin told me. The very first portrait he had drawn as a child. He had grown up in China's far northwest. He had liked his gentle teacher, Miss Liu, so was shocked and ashamed when it all erupted and he learned of his naivety. She was, they warned him, a class enemy, the daughter of a landlord. Outraged at the discovery, he steeled his heart and did the right thing, used his pen, pinned the hideous caricature to the blackboard, and still remembered, as if it were this morning, the moment she walked in and saw it, how the blood drained from her face. She understood already what it might mean, what might follow. He was too young, but grew up fast. Soon, he would see them burning pictures and breaking Buddhas, beating people with sticks and metal bars. He would hear the screams and listen to the silences that followed. He didn't dwell upon his tale, though his memories were very, very vivid. He outlined it efficiently. "You were 8, I began. I was only checking the details, but he took it for a different kind of question, about his culpability, or perhaps a reassurance he hadn't wanted. Of course I was responsible. It's only a question of how big or small my responsibility was. Big enough that, all this time later, he'd devoted 5 years to these giants, spending days on his ladder to define a hairline, shape a brow. Each of Xu's subjects had played a part in this madness, as victim or perpetrator, often both. Some of them had whipped up rage and hatred. Others had died in the struggles. Painting them helped him take responsibility, he said. They were tied to that first picture, for which he still felt guilty, but which had helped him to understand how people could turn upon each other. He thought that others, seeing his work, might begin to understand too. Modern China had bred outspoken artists, fond of provocative statements, giving the finger in Tiananmen Square, sculpting Mao riding bareback on a pig. Xu was not interested in provocation or statements. He didn't satirize forced demolitions, boast of eating fetuses, or simulate sex. He held a good position at one of China's most prestigious universities.